I'm going to give you Jessie's Guide to Lonestar. Okay. Fix everything. Okay. So, in order to do Jessie's Guide to Lonestar, we must first head to Lonestar. Okay, so, like I was saying, this is basically an oval. There's a bridge in the house. This is the corner that I like. Now, pretty much want to spawn over here all the time unless you're going specifically for the monster fish and you want to spawn here. So let's look at the stuff. Alright, so number one. Are you over here? Is that you? Dayu? This guy's just destroying some fish over here. Okay, so if we walk over here, we're going to find my favorite spot in the game. Okay, I don't think you're in mine then. So we'll go over here under this tree. What we're going to do is we can... Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. We technically could go up here, go across this little bridge, and go, well, at least get in between the fence. That's not what we're going to do. What we want to do is get right up here. So you get stuck behind this bush, but that's fine. That's what we want. Because you see my little marker out there. Well, we're going to hit map. We're going to hit him. So remember, like I told you, darker colors mean deep. So what I did was I put a marker right where it's deep. This is the deepest spot of this entire area. So you can do that. Let me, just in case you've never seen it, I'm going to delete this one. Boop. Delete. Okay, so click plus, and it's going to give you a crosshair. So what you want to do is, if you want to be as accurate as possible, you can zoom in. So this deep spot right here, just click it, boop, drops a spot. Now you can also mark it right after you catch a fish, and it'll save the fish's data and everything here for you. You won't have to physically mark it on here. It'll show you exactly where the fish was like spawned when it bit. So you want to mark that spot because you technically want to, I'm just going to show you with this, overkill it. You want to have that set up. I think number one, head blood, and need auto hook. So you want to have this cast to that spot as close as possible. Here. So while that rod, like you want to probably have a bottom rod with the bells on it so that it'll ding, it'll make that noise whenever they're biting. So while it's doing that, let me switch this bait. I'm using like really, really high level stuff. You shouldn't look much like that at all. I'm just trying to show you an example. Okay, so one of my favorite early on combinations was bass jig plus, where's it at? Grub. 2-inch grub. So a little bitty bass jig with a grub on it. So this, and then what I would do is I would position myself Because if you cast here, when you pull it in, it's going to go in between these, these. So every little thing that you pull it by that can spawn a fish has a chance of spawning a fish. So if I cast here, now I think, yeah. So at this particular, with this setup, I can go straight slow and just do it like that. And there's a very high, now I'm not in the peak at all, so if I get a bite, it's going to be weird. I shouldn't get a bite. Yeah, discard. Um, Casting here, and then just every now and then randomly just hucking one as far as you can into the middle. You can use a bass jig anywhere. Like, just because, so generally, if you're bass fishing, you want to do what's called sight fishing. So sight fishing means you want to figure out spots where a bass is likely to spawn and try to hit as many of those as fast as possible. That's how all the tournament fishermen in like real life win, because they go up and down like rivers or the edges of stuff, and they just cast at lily pads, they cast at trees, they cast at docks, they cast at anything that'll potentially have a bass just chilling. So that's setup one. Let me pick this back up. Do. And the reason I have this set up is because catfish are worth the most XP relative to how fast it takes to catch them. Okay, take that. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so back over here. I'll show you my second favorite spot. If you fish from here-ish, just somewhere along here, it's the same thing where you can cast into these areas anywhere that's right near the lily pads and catch bass. Now, in case you didn't know, that's a picture of a worm. You can get free red worms right here from digging in there. Now there's a couple of spots back here where you can actually get to the edge. See the little path? Like right here. This is a good little decent spot. There's one over there, and I think there's like one or two more down there. Yeah. So these spots are really good for crappie and bass. Okay. Continue tour of map. There's a spot over here I need to show you before we go to the final spot. I am PC. So this is the spot where it spawned you your first time in. Most people just walk right up to the water and start fishing, which you can do. Once you're closer to a max level as far as like your rods and stuff, found another star that's a PC user. I didn't know it was that difficult. I'm sorry. So this general area spawns smallmouth buffalo. You need to use a bottom rod is most likely acceptable, and you need to use number twos. And then I think it's dough balls that speak Russian, not Russian or Arabic. Oh, my bad. I only know one language. Okay. But smallmouth buffalo, and let me show you them, are this level's big fish. Like, this is the one that you're going to try to get that besides it and the spotted bass, like smallmouth buffalo give you the most experience and the most money. Spotted bass are up there for most money, and channel catfish are up there for experience. All the rest of them are easy enough to catch that it's not really worth going through. You only know English as well? Well, that's good. We'll be able to communicate. Now, the last thing we're going to do is what this person's doing over here. I'm going to show you that spot. So I'm not certain if anybody's told you. So as much as of a great fishing simulator this game is, it's also still a video game. So one of the things that it has, at least in every level, is a boss fish. And this one's boss fish spawns here. Specifically, here. That's why this guy's chilling right here. And that fish is actually... Where's he at? So your smallmouth buffalo can get to 3.3 pounds. Oh, I actually caught it on pet food. And then the boss version of him is... Where's he at? Right in here somewhere. It's called the Mad Eye Buffalo. I think I passed it up. Where's he at? No? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like 6 and 7 pounds. Okay. Flounder. There he is. This is the biggest thing that you can catch at this lake. It's a 12-pound smallmouth buffalo, but huge. Now you have to trigger that by, if I remember correctly, you have to catch so many of the, um, it's like a leader with like a hook that's in it. You catch so many of those, and then you can make a special leader that's like really, really thin. Then you can use that to catch this. No, use it. You make a special fishing line. Then you use that to make the really visible fishing line, and then you can fight that. I've played this game for like 3, almost 4 years. But yeah, but anywhere else where you see here, as long as you've got floats and you're using like worms, you're gonna catch uh crappie, you're gonna catch the little roaches, you're gonna catch the little minnows. You're gonna catch a whole bunch of that. That's not a big issue. But those spots, like for example, that spot right there, that's money. That's catfish. The spot right there for those smallmouth buffaloes. The spot there for the boss. And then the last thing I tell you is just because of how this terrain works, and it's kind of like I was saying earlier, this terrain right here, because it gets a little tiny bit deeper, casting as far as you can, and then pulling in with any type of bass rig will typically catch them. but you'll catch bass there too. In general, they try not to make this one too difficult to catch stuff, so you can catch stuff almost anywhere you cast. And that is it. That is Lonestar, the Jessie guide to getting your money back if you accidentally spend it all and have to go back to